Sometimes a single song can pack more of a punch than an entire book. And that's exactly what we're going to do today. We are diving deep into Hungry Dogs by the artist Utku. This thing is, well, it's really less of a song and more of a full-blown manifesto. So let's break it down. Okay, so the song kicks off with this absolute killer of a line. Right from the get-go, no time is wasted. It just immediately sets this tone of, well, betrayal, of being completely let down. It's a real gut punch, and it sets the stage for literally everything that comes next. So right away, you have to ask yourself, what is this song really about? I mean, beyond just the raw anger, what's the actual message here? Well, let's dig into the lyrics, verse by verse, and see if we can figure that out. All right, so let's start with that first verse. This is where this song really lays out its core conflict, this huge, massive gap between the promises people hear and the reality they're living. And you can see that conflict right here. On one side, you've got the moon. Think about that. It's this grand, beautiful, almost impossible promise, right? A perfect future. But then, what's the reality? It's stolen bread. Not just any bread, but the bread we chew. It's personal, it's essential, it's about survival. This contrast is just so powerful. It becomes this symbol for social injustice, really zeroing in on leaders who fail to provide even the most basic needs for their people. And the verse doesn't stop there. It hits you with another really stark image. What it does is it draws a direct line, a cause and effect, between the wealth of one group getting bigger and bigger and the desperation of another group. There's nothing subtle about it. Utku is painting a crystal clear picture of just blatant economic inequality. Okay, so moving into the second verse, the song kind of shifts gears. It's not just about the problem anymore, it's about the methods, the actual tools that are used to keep this unequal system in place.
And wow, this line is such a sharp critique of how language can be twisted. Velvet tongues. That's such a great phrase, isn't it? It makes you think of words that are just smooth, persuasive, easy to listen to. But the song's point is that this is all just a cover for laws that aren't there to protect you, but to restrict you. They're exactly what the song calls them, chains disguised.
And this is where you can really see that hypocrisy in action. You've got the words, those velvet tongues that sound so good on the surface, and then you've got the action, the chains disguised, which is the harsh reality of what those words actually create. It's a classic case of do as I say, not as I do, but on a massive scale. And then the verse just slams the point home with this incredibly dramatic contrast. At this point, it's not even just about inequality. It's about obscene luxury right next to utter desperation. I mean, feasting on golden plates while others are begging for crumbs they waste, that's an image that's designed to stick with you. It's meant to be provocative. And all of this builds up to the chorus. This is really the heart of the song, both emotionally and symbolically. This is where we finally get to the meaning behind that title, Hungry Dogs. So this hungry dogs metaphor is really fascinating because it's not just one thing. It's actually working on two levels. On one hand, the hungry dogs could be the system itself, right? Merciless, predatory, always consuming. But on the other hand, it could also be the people who are being pushed to a point of such desperation by that very system that they become like hungry animals themselves. And these next lines really dramatize the human cost of that system. The imagery here is just, it's brutal. It's completely dehumanizing. Think about being chewed bone by bone. It suggests this slow, grinding, painful process of exploitation that just wears you down until there's nothing left, leaving you totally isolated and broken. Okay, so we're heading into the third verse now, and if you can believe it, the critique gets even sharper. It really focuses in on this deep, what feels like an uncrossable, divide between the classes. And what's so striking about this line is the absolute audacity of it all. The song is calling out leaders who are talking about better days to come, while at the very same time, they're robbing people right to their faces. It's that blatant hypocrisy again. And this comparison just lays it all out there. The two completely separate realities that this song is describing. So for the rich, the system is great. It works for them, it rewards them, their tails wag like happy dogs. But for the poor, that exact same system forces them into these impossible situations where they're basically being told to dig their own ditch. It's a powerful way to say the game is completely rigged. But here's the thing, the song doesn't just leave you in that place of despair. Right at the end, it makes this huge pivot. It shifts from just describing the injustice to actually forecasting a rebellion.
And this is it, the big finale, the last line of the song. Make no mistake, this is a warning. It's a declaration that this way of life, this system, it isn't permanent. The power dynamic is about to flip.
And what's so brilliant here is how that one single word, pack, completely changes the meaning of the whole hungry dogs metaphor. So the hungry dogs, who were these isolated, desperate individuals, they're not individuals anymore. They've become the pack. And the pack represents unity, collective strength, and the potential for a revolution. It's this idea that the victims finally find their power when they come together. And that right there is why this is so much more than just another protest song. It's a perfectly structured argument. It starts with a problem, it analyzes how that problem is maintained, and it ends with a powerful, defiant call for collective action. It really is, in every sense of the word, a social manifesto. And so the song doesn't give you a neat little ending. It leaves you with this final, really provocative question. It doesn't tell you what's going to happen. It just forces you to think about the possibilities. It's the kind of question that just hangs in the air, long after the music has faded out. What happens when a pack has its turn?